Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what may very well be the biggest shit show on the internet so far in 2024. Our live stream coverage of the 2024 State of the Union Address as given by President Joseph R. Biden. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. I'm joined tonight by a couple of my colleagues, and we are going to have as much fun with this as we possibly can at the expense of the Biden administration. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are on Rumble. Thank you to everybody who has been sending out tweets, getters, gabs, Facebook posts, wherever you may be on social media. God bless you, everyone, for doing everything you're doing. We're going to have some fun tonight. We'll give everybody a minute or two to settle into the room, and we'll get this party really started. So, again, thank you for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping the volume on the music, bring in my colleagues. We've got about 20 minutes before the official start of the speech, and this speech may not start on time depending on what's going on. I'll explain that here in a minute. So I am joined, as always, by my good buddy, Mr. Reuben Christopher Haynes. Good evening to you, sir.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And from the Dangerous Rhetoric podcast, we have our good buddy, Mr. Brentley. How are you, sir?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, glad to have you guys. Glad to have you. So we've got a few minutes before this party gets started in earnest, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. There's a lot. I mean, normally, obviously, a State of the Union address by any president is very important. In this case, for Biden, it's almost critical. I was talking about this the other day on one of my live streams, that the expectations are high, and in another sense, they're kind of low. They're high in that Biden has to hit certain marks in this speech because he's got a campaign at this point that is going miserably for him. He's losing in every battleground state imaginable. He's losing in almost every national poll, or at best, he's tied. So he and his people have got to do something to change the trajectory of the way this is going, or at least slow the slide until he can turn this thing around in the summer, if he can do it. The other issue is, the reason that I say it's low, let's just be honest, our current president has a reputation for certain verbal, I don't know what you call it, word salad. What term do you use for the way he speaks? I don't understand
Dementia?
I've heard that word thrown around. I have heard that word thrown around. So yeah, it's like, it's kind of like watching him walk up the steps on Air Force One. You got to watch him do it, not because it's a normal presidential thing, but you got to watch him because you just don't know what's going to happen. So, Dave, thank you. Hopefully that makes my volume a little bit better. I'll turn it up a little bit, see if I can do here. Is that good?
Yeah, okay. He fell up the stairs, which I thought was an impossibility.
Yes, that is frightening. That is truly, truly frightening. And we've got a good crowd in here already on YouTube. God bless you guys. We've got a good crowd getting together on Rumble. Gentlemen, let me throw it to you guys first. Let me start pulling some things up as we do it. What are your thoughts about tonight? What do you think we're going to get as far as the speech? And after you guys give your thoughts, we're going to ask our audience for some participation throughout the evening, and I'll explain what we're talking about.
Well, from my perspective, the first thing is we're going to have, I cannot wait to see the aftermath of his backers, which is the media, which is the Democratic Party, and to a certain extent, some of the rhinos out there are going to basically deflect and basically see how great his speech is. Because again, the talking points of his speech have already been outlined. And it's all about the saving democracy. It's all about stopping MAGA. It's all about, stopping the gun violence, protecting women's rights, all the things that, again, he's not doing in the long term. It's just it is a shit show. But I want to see where he fumbles and again, the speech should have been out by now. There should be, but I think it's not out because he's not going to follow it. Something may happen. And I heard a rumor about there being intermissions in this thing too. I don't know if
that is not true. Sean Spicer put out a tweet and was doing some trolling.
Okay.
And he was trying to get it stirred up that there were going to be 2 intermissions for the State of the Union address, which actually, when I first read it from Spicer, I went, this is not, I mean, I almost fell for it. And then I went a little in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, geez. Holy cow. So, Brentley, what about you? What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen tonight?
Well, obviously he's going to talk smack about Donald Trump and Donald Trump's supporters. That's a given. We're going to get like the Dark Brandon vibes. I've got no doubt. He's going to try to bring that fuego if he can. They've probably got him hopped up on methamphetamine and testosterone, just like some other 20th century authoritarians. But we'll have to wait and see. And I fully expect at least a couple of gaffes, though. So that's really what I'm here for. I honestly don't really want to listen to Biden. I think his speech is going to be cliche. It's going to be a bunch of, regurgitated nonsense and reversal lies. He won't, he'll blame. He probably won't even address the southern border situation, or if he does, he'll blame it on Republicans. Because that's been their basically their whole deflection is just like, oh, it's just the Republicans' fault. So I expect we'll see a lot of that, a lot of demagoguery, maybe some complaints about the rise of Christian nationalism and how it is impeding a woman's right to choose. It's predictable, I think. Really what I'm excited for are the gaps. Like, where is he going to stumble? Where is he going to trip up? Is he going to just blank out? Is he going to keel over, right then and there and just pass away in front of all of us? Who knows? It could happen. So we'll have to wait and see. And we'll even have to wait and see if this thing gets started, right? Because there was some drama you were just telling us about.
Absolutely. Yeah. There is a story out of Revolt. I forget what the name of the news organization. Give me 1 second here and I'll find it. But as I'm doing that, let me put something up here talking about not wanting to watch the speech. And I get it. I truly do. There is a story that came out of Breitbart today, and I do want to share this. Majority say they will not watch Joe Biden's State of the Union address. This is a story written by Hannah Blue Knudsen. A majority of adult Americans will not watch Joe Biden's State of the Union address tonight. The latest survey from The Economist YouGov found the question was very simple. Will you watch this year's State of the Union address on Thursday, March 7th? And a majority, almost 2-1, said they will not watch the address. Of those, 47% say they will not watch it, and they do not want to. Now, that to me is a little frightening. And I get it. I mean, the distaste that people have for political leadership currently, I understand. But, this is under normal circumstances, this is a event for the nation. It's supposed to bring together Democrats, Republicans, and we talk about the good of the country, where we are, and what our vision is going forward. And this is to me a little bit frightening, to be perfectly honest with you. It really is. Now, that said, that does not mean, ladies and gentlemen, that people are not going to try and have fun tonight. There are 2 things happening all over the internet, and I find this to be fascinating. I'll put this up for everyone's benefit. There are bingo cards that are being established in various places all over the internet of things that may happen or be said during the State of the Union. Now, I do not have one printed out myself because I've got to be doing various hosting duties, but I think I'm going to keep this one around because I want to see how close I get to bingo on this. Now, the second thing, and this is where we need your participation, and we got about 10 minutes before this starts. There are various drinking games that are taking place around the internet as it relates to the State of the Union. So we're going to ask our audience, and there's a big bunch of you already in here already, what should, if Biden says a certain word or phrase, should we take a shot or do something else, assuming that some person here does not drink? What should you make them do? So we're going to ask for your help on this. If we hear things like, dog face pony liar, we take a shot. If we hear something about MAGA extremist, we take a shot. You tell us, you're the audience. We're going to let you guys, put us potentially into a state of, comatoseness by the time this night is over, depending upon what is said or how often it's said. I'm not a drinker ordinarily. Understood. We get it. And my brother, I saw your comment. We get it. We love you. It's okay. It's all good. This is going to be a fun and interesting night. So, and by the way, I'll go ahead and do a quick commercial. Please subscribe to the channels of these gentlemen. And before we get started, guys, do me a favor. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media. Where can they sub to your channel? How can they best help you guys out, since we got a few minutes before this starts?
Find me on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, and X at Ruben Haynes. I'm doing videos. Right now I have a 5-day ban on YouTube. I don't care. I'm going to be posting everybody everywhere else. I'm just on my weight loss journey and my health journey, doing it all naturally. And you can find me everywhere out there. I post a lot of stuff out here, but I'm going to be doing a lot more on Rumble coming up soon for the new year, or this year. And I'm going around doing stuff because we have to stand up to tyranny and stand up to the emperor has no clothes. Let's get it done.
Brentley?
You can find me at Dangerous Rhetoric on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. We do our Sunday night streams on Rumble. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Brentley, Dangerous Rhetoric. Find me on Twitter at Kapopolis, but I'm on an alt right now because I got in trouble because I was naughty on Twitter because I suggested that the person who was arrested for alleged serial raping should be put to death. And Twitter didn't like that. So Twitter slapped me with a suspension, and I appealed it, and I'm waiting to get my account back now.
Oh my God.
So I'm on my old original account, the OG account, which is Sire 2067. Which I've had since 2011. And that account got banned in Twitter 1.0 because I forget what. I was probably, talking about vitamin D or something during COVID.
Oh, goodness.
But I got it back. I got it back under Elon. So now I have that as my backup account.
Okay. Well, my name is Brian Trippett. I'm the Front Porch Conservative. If you're not subscribed to my channels on YouTube and Rumble, please give me a sub. I'm also on Twitter at the Front Porch C1. We're glad to have you guys here tonight. It's about maybe 7 minutes before we start. Now, we're going to try and do this in a fairly unique sort of way for your viewing pleasure. And believe me, given that it's Joe Biden who's doing the talking, we're going to do everything to take the displeasure out of it. Biden's going to be speaking, but as we understand it, former President Donald Trump, who is more or less now the Republican nominee in name, if not officially, will be giving a response. Now, the thing we're not quite sure is he doing it live on camera? Is he posting on Truth Social? Now, if it's a thing where we have a video of Biden speaking and a video of Trump speaking, responding to it, then for the sake of y'all, we'll just, kind of peek over Trump's shoulder as he's watching this thing. If not, we'll find some way to make it happen for you guys because we'll do everything we can. Now, for our part, if you've been around our live streams long enough, you will realize that we are not necessarily given to remaining quiet with our opinions. So do not be surprised in the slightest if after President Soft Serve gets off some comment, if while the Democrats are applauding, if Ruben's not giving him a cussing, Brentley's saying things that I have to bleep out, and me, I'm over here going, mother of God, you moron. Stuff like that. Don't be shocked because we will let you know what we think. God help you if you're not ready to hear it, but we will tell you what we think. So just be advised, so there you go. Anyway, we have shots. You have shots ready at the ready. We have bingo cards at the ready, and we're down to about 5 minutes to go. So send out tweets. Send out, what is that? Sasquatch? What is that?
Blended whiskey from the Highlands.
Oozer Quaybach?
I dare you to say that.
Oozer Quaybach?
I don't know what the fuck it is. I just know it's good. I just know it's good. Let me pour some out
Okay.
there.
Okay. All right. So, like I say, we got 5 minutes to go. Send out some tweets, send out some Gettrs, send out some Truth Socials. Tell all your friends to get in here. Let's turn this thing into the biggest party we possibly can. Like I say, if you think there are certain words and phrases that ought to cause us to either sip, shot, or hit, there you go. Hit the thumbs up, share it around, do all the things to help the algorithm. We'd greatly appreciate it. So I'm checking out Right Side Broadcasting because they say they've got some kind of live rapid response to Biden's State of the Union in D.C. Now, I don't know if they're like broadcasting from down at Mar-a-Lago or what the heck they're doing. So, but we're going to try and make this thing happen for everybody.
Robert has the best line.
Yeah. Already hit the thing, come on, man. Well, you know what? That just might be my first one of the night. So, salute. That was good. Okay. All right. That's the pre-speech shot. Yeah, believe me, Brent's already like, this speech is up in smoke. There you go. Oh God, Brent's going back to the kite before this thing's over with. Oh Lordy, folks, you've got to feel sorry for us that we're willing to suffer like this on y'all's behalf. That's all I'm saying.
This is fun for me. What is this? Thursday night?
It's a Thursday night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the fact that you're here, and I'm not BSing you right now, it's greatly appreciated. We've got friends out there, and I've got an invitation out to author Chad Manley, who's been with us on these live streams before. So, we'll see what we can come up with. This is going to be a really interesting night. And Brent, if you got to leave before this thing's done, that's okay. I mean, you're not going to offend me in the slightest. I get it. So
we'll see how swirly my words get after I hit this thing. Come on, man, another 4 times.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can find the White House's State of the Union or their YouTube page real quick. If not, I'll use the Washington Post.
You should show some of the footage of the protesters blocking the motorcade.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
They're ridiculous. And that this person, this is so weird. This like Aaliyah, what's her name? Aaliyah Scootercaster.
Yeah.
She's like always at like these like she gets tipped off in advance or something. She's like always there. She does the stuff in DC, and she was in New York a lot too. I would see her out and about. Yeah,
what Brent is referring to, and let me pop this up here real quick. According to RAWS alerts, hundreds of Palestinian protesters are blocking the motorcade route as President Biden heads to the Capitol for the State of the Union. Currently, hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters have shut down Pennsylvania Avenue right outside the Capitol, sitting down around a giant Palestinian flag.
Now, let me ask you, is this obstruction of an official proceeding?
Oh, I was kind of wondering that question myself. That's a really interesting question.
Because for myself, I don't think it is, but I also don't think what they did on January 6th was either.
Exactly.
So, but if we're going to apply the law equally, either you have to charge everyone or you have to charge nobody. You have to use the charge equally. You can't just, we're going to charge the Republicans with it. That's not cool. You can't. That's not real law.
Exactly. So
we'll see if they overturn that. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, we will see. So anyway, we're just basically waiting to get this thing started. I'm going to go ahead and at least put it on. We'll do the Washington Post. Let me see if I can. Give me 1 second here, fellas, to get through the commercials. Okay.
I really need to cut my hair.
We'll go ahead and put this up here. The members of the Supreme Court are gathered. Now, for those of you who maybe have never watched the State of the Union address before, and for the almost 100 folks of you who are, we just cracked over 100. Oh my goodness. Oh, Commander, thank you very much. Talib's district is next to mine. There's a faction of Arab Americans who hate her progressive views in Metro Detroit. The media will not cover that. Okay, interesting. Not necessarily shocked by that per se. But yeah, this is. You can see the Capitol House chamber is almost completely full. There's a significant number of Republicans who've said that they will not be attending this tonight, no matter what. So, we're going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, oh yeah, J.D. Vance has said he's not going to be there. Andy Biggs of Arizona said he's not going to be there. There's a bunch of them that said they will not show up. Now, the other fascinating thing, just as a side note to keep an eye on, many people are anticipating, and that's Byron Donalds of Florida and Eli Crane from Arizona to his left. There are a significant number of people that are anticipating that Joe Biden is going to try and bait the Republicans into responding to him on certain things. In other words, he's going to put in so many verbal digs that they just cannot help themselves. So that's going to be funny to watch. As a matter of fact, Speaker Mike Johnson, and there's Steny Hoyer of Maryland, and former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Jim Clyburn of South Carolina as to Hoyer's left. Mike Johnson's already told the Republicans, guys, cool it. Don't take the bait. So there's Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. The other two gentlemen, I'm not sure who they are. But let's see if there's anybody else there we recognize just offhand.
Is that Marjorie Taylor Greene in the red?
No, that's not Marjorie, actually. Actually, I'm looking for my future ex-wife. Where's Lauren?
Where's Lauren?
Bobert.
Yeah, where's my future ex-wife? Let's see. That's Claudia Tenney in the leopard print. And
she looks like my grandmother.
Yeah, she's Congresswoman from Western New York.
What's with all the fucking accoutrement? Like they're all wearing
it's the whole women's rights bullshit.
There's like 18. They've got like different pieces of flair. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the Supreme Court robes used to be just more or less.
No, the Supreme Court people were fine. It's like the representatives that have like 18 pins plus.
Oh, is that George Santos?
George Santos
there's our boy George.
What's he doing there?
Wait a minute, I did not phrase that correctly. I didn't mean boy George. That our boy whose name is George.
What's
George
he
Santos.
doing there?
Well, I don't care. She loves a good scandal.
It's Marco Rubio, Senator from Florida. Justice Sotomayor, Chief Justice Roberts.
Oh, that's Roberts.
Yeah.
I don't see who. Does Thomas did not show up or no? I don't think he.
Oh, there's Thomas Massey.
Yeah, and there's our boy Gates. There's our boy Gates. Very interesting.
Thomas Massey's my favorite. Do you guys have a favorite?
Well, if we're not talking about my future ex-wife, yeah, I gotta say Massey's one of my boys.
I like
one of the boys.
You can say Bobert. She's fine. She's a little fucking crazy though.
I can fix that. I can fix that. Really, I can fix
that.
No,
I like crazy. She reminds me of who. Never mind. Where is she anyway? Where is she?
I was saying that about the. Did you hear about that guy in Tennessee that the FBI is looking for? That has a van that was like putting out threats about wanting to hurt Republicans and blow people up and stuff.
Oh my goodness! No, I have not heard about that. But did you hear about this? Let me see if I can find it real fast because
he is a handsome homeless ginger man, and I can fix him.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
yeah,
you think Elon Musk said it best? I think this guy said it best, right, Ryan? He's about to show you something.
Yeah, if I can find this real fast,
are you gonna show me something?
You sent me through Twitter, remember?
Yeah, I did, and that's what I'm looking for right now. There's a gentleman who's currently under arrest. Who the reason he's under arrest is he sent 1,000 used dildos to the White House and told Joe Biden to go fuck himself. Needless to say, the Secret Service didn't exactly like that.
Where did he get 1,000 used dildos?
I am looking for the story right now. Hang on a minute. I've got to find it.
How is it like known that they are used?
I don't even want to try to answer that question.
Well, that's just a very particular adjective that has particular connotation.
No, I am simply reporting how the story reads.
Okay.
Here it is. I think I just found it. Let me keep an eye on. Let me keep an eye on the Capitol. Yeah, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the American people are creative in their responses to government, if nothing else. This is from KVTA News. Man arrested after sending hundreds of used dildos to the White House on Valentine's Day. So, quote, Joe Biden can go fuck himself.
Oh, hundreds. Okay.
Kurt Fellows, 67, is being held by the Secret Service at an undisclosed location after a shipment containing close to 1,000 previously used sex toys arrived at the White House on Valentine's Day, addressed to President Biden. The letter attached to the shipment said, Happy Valentine's Day, Sleepy Joe. Since you like to fuck all of us, why don't you go fuck yourself? End of quote. While sending the unsolicited shipment of dildos to the president as grounds for arrest, not to mention possible health concern, the addition of the letter, which for reasons of national security cannot be fully disclosed to the public,
scary,
put Kurt Fellows at the top of the to-do list for the Secret Service. Yeah, he is a gentleman from Montana, and that didn't go over very well for some strange reason. I can't imagine why. So,
and then did you see the bottom of the rest of the story? They arrested him, they sedated him, put him in a straitjacket, took him away, and said that he solicited the toys from like-minded women in the Montana area, and that they were more than pleased with the idea of the president receiving a shipment of their
okay
Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So now I will admit, to look at this gentleman, you wouldn't think he'd know that many women that would be willing to part with that many accessories. Shall we use that word? But hey, the guy's got game. That's all I'm saying. If you know that many women willing to give up that many accessories, I'm just saying, that's doing something.
Why do you need that toy when you have me?
See, folks, I told you our coverage of the State of the Union is going to be one of the more entertaining things you have ever seen. So let me put it back up on screen.
What are they going to charge him with, I wonder?
That's a great question.
What's the charge?
Now, Leanne, my lovely Leanne of the Shenandoah Valley says they were probably unused. Now, and you know what? You're probably right. But that sort of begs the question.
But you never know.
Well, not even so much that, but my question is this. Used or unused, how many different women did you talk to acquire almost 1,000 different accessories? I'm just saying. I mean, seriously, people. Woo.
Yeah, 1,000 seems like a lot.
That indeed it do. Indeed it do. My goodness. Okay, while we're looking around, let me see if I'm trying to find where or how Trump is going to respond to the State of the Union. I don't know if he's doing it on Right Side or if he's doing it on Truth Social. So, fellas, if you happen to see anything, let me know. Yeah. Keep an eye on Truth Social especially. So,
but the fact that we haven't seen what this speech is yet, I know that there is a website. I put a link in the chat, a private chat, basically 3 main topics. He's going to talk about. Number 1 is investing in the economy, which I don't know what he wants to do there. 5, he's not investing in the economy at all. 2 is protecting women's health. He's going to basically talk about abortion again, because that's why all the women in white are for women's issues. That's basically what they're doing. And then the last thing is democracy at risk. He's going to talk about MAGA and all that crap. Those are the 3 things he's going to talk about.
Which is ironically, like, it's such the reversal. Like, they are the violation of democracy. Like, they are the people that do the thing that they accuse everyone of, and it's so patently transparent. Oh, is he walking in? Did he arrive on time?
Not yet. It's 10 minutes after 9, and I'm not surprised that it's not starting right at 9 o'clock.
Well, it's like a concert, you get the doors open.
Everybody,
get the crowd in and interested.
Yep, very true.
They're gonna wheel him out.
Is he wearing makeup?
I'm not sure. Now, I will say this, and I'm not trying to be a smart ass. Vice President Harris looks very nice this evening.
Whoa, who's the dude on the left? He looks like a fucking alien.
Mark Kelly.
That's U.S. Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona.
Is it just me, or does he not look like an alien?
Well, he was an astronaut.
Let's say the first lady
Oh,
is
here she comes. Here she comes. Watch.
That means the motorcade has arrived.
Who's she gonna kiss?
I'm
Who's
not
she
sure.
gonna kiss?
She didn't kiss him. She didn't kiss him.
No, Stenny, she's not kissing you. Nice dress. I will say that. She looks very nice this
She
evening.
loves this. She loves
Of course
it.
she does. This is
loves
part of the reason. This is part of the reason why
Hi,
Biden's running. Yeah.
I'm the first lady. Me.
Pay attention to me. Yes.
Me.
Leanne says, "Oh, there's Rand Paul, but Tuberville is old sexy."
He's-
Oh, Leanne,
here
girl.
comes. Here comes.
Okay, hang on.
And his business, looking at the priorities there.
The cabinet.
President is coming in.
Don't trip, Joe. Don't trip.
Spending priorities that the administration has succeeded with. A Native American tribal leader who's worked with the administration to modernize infrastructure on tribal lands. So they're really trying to reflect
Like the gauntlet.
accomplishments and passing legislation.
Yeah, it's a famous thing.
Help and circumstance.
Looking to see who might be left
Yep.
behind. James, talk to us.
I will.
Yeah,
I
there's
will.
also-
We're still waiting to know officially who the so-called designated survivor is. But what's striking is no Merrick Garland. That might be by choice. You know, the Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel who's prosecuting not just the former president, but also the current president's son. A lot of frustration at the White House with Merrick Garland. So as you look at the cabinet, they're coming in order based on when their cabinet agency was created. So Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, was the first to come in because the State Department's the oldest department. Janet Yellen, the Secretary of Treasury, followed by Lloyd Austin, the Secretary of Defense, who was
I didn't see Merrick
hospitalized,
Garland.
but no
Yeah,
Merrick Garland.
Yeah, we did see Deb Holland,
Yep.
Rhonda.
There's
Let's go to you,
Javier.
Rhonda, for
Yep.
more on what you're seeing.
Buttigieg.
Cabinet, but this is so interesting to me because
AKA
a few of them
Alfred E.
have been
Newman.
here on Capitol Hill
Yeah.
having to testify, and that's usual.
Attorney
right?
General's busy,
There's been a sense
shredding
that
documents.
Republicans
Yeah,
did
really.
want to get the cabinet.
And if you're just joining us,
last
my
week,
name is
Lloyd
Brian
Austin
Tripp at
was
the Front
here
Porch
at the
Conservative.
hearing,
I'm
because
joined
he
by
did
Brent Lee
not
from the Dangerous
let
Rhetoric
the president know,
Podcast.
Congress
My
know
good buddy
when
Ruben
he
Christopher
was in
Haynes.
hospital
This is
for
live stream
treatment in
coverage of the
January.
2024
He was
State of the Union
testifying
Address.
about that. I've mentioned
Please
too
like
how
and
Mayorkas,
subscribe to
who we are
everybody's
now
channel
seeing,
who's here tonight.
has been successfully
And
impeached in
let's
the
have some
House.
fun with all this.
However, we're waiting to see
Like I
if
say, at
that will be
certain
picked
points,
up by the Senate
might
in
be
the Senate
shots
trial.
taken
I actually
or
asked an aide that
other
earlier
things done,
today if there is
just for
any
the fun of it.
timing yet to know if that is going to go over to the Senate. And she just said they're waiting on the Senate. But this is a cabinet that, not only is the president been in the sights of his opposing party in this chamber, so has his cabinet. So that also is another interesting dynamic here in this room.
Yeah, a little awkward there,
Yeah.
Rhonda, when you think about that in specifically. James, we're also seeing a variety of other secretaries,
Yeah.
ranging from the Secretary of Energy to the Secretary of Transportation, faces that people may know from their past politics.
There's Merrick Garland.
Pete Buttigieg. What else are you? Oh, there's Merrick Garland.
And
We
I
saw
just
him
did
right there.
exactly. So we saw Merrick Garland.
We
The
also
Attorney
saw
General
Lloyd
is there.
Austin.
It is in a sea of black and blue suits. Gina Raimondo, the Secretary of Commerce, who was the designated survivor 2 years ago, and Marcia Fudge, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, both wearing green. This is an unusually late in the year State of the Union, so we're only 10 days out from St. Patrick's Day, so maybe a little early nod to that.
James,
but-
I'm doing a checklist to see who the designated
Me too.
survivor might be at this
Hey,
point. Has
Ruben?
anybody seen Javier Becerra? That's
Yeah.
Do me a favor. While I've still got this up, check Truth Social for me and see if you can find on Donald
Yeah.
Trump's.
I'll look for it.
Look there. Brent, would you mind checking Rumble for the Right Side Broadcasting Network? They should have live coverage, or they say they're going to have live coverage of a rapid response. Now, I don't know if that means they're going to do Trump or if they're just doing that on their own, but because I really don't want to step away from this while this thing's getting ready to kick off. But if you guys find anything, let me know. The lady in red is Jennifer Granholm, the Energy Secretary. Yeah, Jill looks good tonight. No doubt about it. I'll go ahead and put there's Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who's retiring, Mitt Romney, who is retiring as well. Going to be a big shakeup in the Senate next year for a lot of
First
different reasons.
Lady is there. We are waiting for the President of the United States to come in, and the photographers who are gathered behind Rhonda and me are still waiting eagerly to try to catch that image. The President of the United States entering, you can see right there. We are based in Statuary Hall with our crew, and we got to see earlier the senators process through Statuary Hall, led by the Vice President Kamala Harris. JM, it is such a classic image that we always see. The Vice President, the Speaker of the House, flanking the President of the United States. What will you be watching for in terms of body language from them tonight?
Yeah, Libby, as our colleague Paul Kane pointed out earlier in the broadcast, Kevin McCarthy was in some ways overly stoic last year flanking President Biden. Some of our viewers might remember a few years before that, Boehner's kind of, at times odd or Boehner-like facial expressions behind the president. There have been times when, last year, then Speaker McCarthy kind of had to hush some of his members or tell them to tone it down when they were kind of interrupting the president. That's, how much those interruptions or sort of exchanges come into play. Our viewers might remember Biden sort of on his feet last year created that moment when some members on the Republican side interrupted him. And at one point he just said, "I like conversation." And that in and of itself became one of the key moments of the night, if you will, not any specific policy proposal, but that sort of exchange, his ability to sort of work on his feet there. One thing I'll quickly mention on the cabinet secretaries, we saw Julie Su come in dressed all in blue. She's been acting for the last year because of a holdup in the Senate.
Okay, folks, here we go.
The President of the United States.
The President of the United States will walk down that aisle and be...
I have a question, fellas. How many times do you think he's going to sniff ladies' hair before he gets to the podium?
How many women are there? I think maybe you do every woman.
I was going to say, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Folks, if you're just joining us, President Biden is about to come to the dais at the well of the House. My name is Brian Trippett, the Front Porch Conservative. This joined tonight by Brent from the Dangerous Rhetoric podcast and my good buddy Ruben Christopher Haynes. We're going to be live streaming this, so folks, we're going to try and make this as much fun as we possibly can. If we can find President Trump responding to this, and we will switch over, especially if he's doing it live on camera, because I think that would be fantastic. But yeah, right now it's the normal meet and greet, the glad handing that takes place, this is customary for anybody who's president of the United States to come in to this. So this takes a few minutes, and that behind him, you might notice behind Schumer is Steve Scalise, who is the Republican majority leader. He has been going through some cancer treatments, and I'm not saying anything ill of him, so please don't misunderstand me, but bless his heart, you can tell it's working on him. It's working.
Like, I gotta agree with some of the chatters. Like, I don't think that's him.
What do you mean?
I think it's somebody wearing a mask and a prosthesis.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Does his face really look like that? Look at it. Look at it closely. Look at his eyes.
Maybe he had some work done.
Look at the ears. Look at how I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. It's very uncanny valley to me.
Well, God. Oh, MCG, yeah, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you, woman.
Oh, that's perfect.
Babe.
That is awesome.
Look at that. Who's Crypt Keeper right here on the bottom right?
I have no idea.
Who is that creature? Oh my God.
I have no idea. Good Lord.
Look at that thing. Ooh, I hope she's not a Republican.
Ugh. No. She's not a Republican.
She looks like death on fucking heels.
Come on, where's the hair sniffing?
I'm telling you, his face looks
name.
fucking
Say
weird.
her name,
That
he
does
says.
not. This looks weird.
He is very energetic. I'll give him that much so far.
Well, yeah. Well, if it is him, they hopped him up on fucking drugs.
To answer the question of up in Connecticut, who is giving the GOP response? The junior senator from Alabama, Katie Britt. There was some discussions about whether or not President Trump should do it. Apparently, I'm not sure if it was an issue that he declined or what. They settled on Senator Brent from Alabama, but this is going to be really interesting. So, folks, we've still got some time before Biden makes it to the well of the House. Send out some tweets, send out some Gettr, send out some Truth Social, send out some Gabs. And like I say, if you think that there are certain words and phrases that should cause Ruben, myself, and Brentley to respond with adult beverages or substances, let us know. Like I say, I am fully prepared tonight. So there you go. But anyway, that's Congressman Green from Texas. He's a Democrat. Himself having gone through some recent health problems, but looking pretty good, all things considered. Have to say. There's Schumer in the background.
Let me get a selfie.
Oh, God, I know. Isn't it awful?
Oh, my God. The Crypt Keeper. It's so creepy, that woman.
And for fashion commentary, we have Brentley. There's Joe Manchin.
I'm just a mouthy faggot. That's all.
You are not mouthy.
His face really looks like it's like glued on. It's weird.
I have to say, Joe's looking he's up for this thing. So, let's see what happens. I do sort of hope for his sake they get him to the well of the House quickly, because I'm not sure how long that energy level is going to stay up. It's getting later into the night. I'm just saying,
This is great. The longer it draws out, the more likely that the drugs start to wear off and we get to see some shenanigans.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. This is going to be really interesting indeed. So thank you to everybody who's sending out your tweets, your Gabs, your Getters, your Truth Socials. You guys are awesome. Like I say, we're scouring right now to find where
I'm looking
where Trump is going to be on. I mean, it's going to be Truth Social. The only question is whether he's doing some kind of live video response.
No, I found it. It's in the private chat. It's
Okay.
on Rumble, and it's basically the feed of the thing with Trump's truths on the right side of the screen.
Oh,
So Trump responds like in real time.
Well, you know what? Okay, I'll tell you what.
we'll do that
I
then.
mean, if that's what they're going to do, I've got
It's the
no
same.
problem with
You
that.
might as well. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Let me. Wait a minute. I can't do that. Hang on. That's going to take out the. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, how do I slow this thing down?
Hold on.
Enable slow chat. Oh, yes. By all means, slow down. Oh, there it is on the right hand side. Okay. Okay, that's cool.
Has he sniffed anyone yet?
I have not seen that. I have not seen. Let's see. Is this gonna? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. It
There
works.
we go.
Because
Now we're
I'll
talking.
Tube on a sniff.
Okay.
God, I wish
Okay.
he would go on. I wish he would go on freaking Twitter.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Let me make one more adjustment here. Since he's doing this on Truth Social in real time. Okay, that should. All right, I've got everything
Sort of
cleared
directly
out.
competing with Elon, though, so it makes sense for him, brand-wise and business-wise, to not be on Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. But yeah, folks, we're glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Love all of you guys. Biden is slowly making his way. And when I say slowly, it is, but it isn't. If you all have ever watched State of the Union addresses before, you guys know that it takes the president, no matter who it is, Democrat, Republican, a little while to get up there because everybody wants a picture, a selfie, an autograph. And I'm not kidding about that. You will literally see grown-up adult people asking for autographs of the president of the United States as though they're some kind of a rock star or something. So, a little bit crazy. Now, the president will normally bring 2 copies of the State of the Union address, one for the Speaker of the House, the other for the President of the Senate, which strictly speaking is the Vice President, Kamala Harris. And before he begins his remarks, he'll hand one copy to each of them. And from there, he will begin his remarks. You can see the teleprompters on either side of the well, and looks like the president's now making his way up there, which everyone's applauding the fact he's made it up there without falling over, which is a good thing. Anyway, let's go ahead and start listening in on this. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Tony.
You're watching live stream coverage of the State of the Union address. My name is Brian Trippett from Porch Conservative, joined by Ruben Christopher Haynes and Brent from the Dangerous Rhetoric podcast.
David Jill.
And the speaker is now gathering them to order.
Good evening. Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now.
Would you please?
Go home, Joe. Go home, Joe.
Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans, in January 1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation. And he said, I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no
Why does it keep doing that?
I don't know.
ordinary moment either.
I'm trying to see what I can do.
Not since President Lincoln
You can try to go back to the
and
other
the
one.
Civil War
I think I'm going to have to.
have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room that needs to defend itself,
King Jeffries looks like Gollum.
that is all. That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers in war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way.
That's a lie.
Assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't
No.
long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Totally different situation. Totally different.
Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want.
Wrong.
That's a quote.
Wrong. No.
The
lie.
Wrong.
former president actually said that
No, he didn't.
down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
That is not what he said, and that's most certainly being taken out of context.
America Canada
Look at Kamala.
is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. So they're stand up.
Oh, God.
And the timing of Sweden coming into the NATO alliance right on the eve of the State of the Union, those two things are totally unconnected, aren't they, fellas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just that one has nothing to do with the other. Oh, no.
Welcome to the intergalactic empire, Sweden.
Yes.
The world has ever seen. I say this to Congress. We have to stand up to Putin. Send me a bipartisan national security bill. History is literally watching. History is watching. If the United States walks away, it will put Ukraine at risk. Europe is at risk. The free world will be at risk, emboldening others to do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down. I will not bow down.
You don't get to appropriate the money.
In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching.
Again?
Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th.
Oh, shut up. Oh, God.
Placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you are here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots.
Okay, there you
They come
go.
to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election.
They did.
A great, gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed.
It was not an insurrection. No one was ever charged with it.
No, he just inadvertently
You're
admitted the truth
the
there.
insurrectionist, Biden. You're the one that's causing the problem.
Stood strong.
That was a major
Democracy
sort of
prevailed.
admission.
We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th.
Oh.
I will not-
Oh, fuck you.
This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
Yes, but you can also love your country even if someone says something you don't agree with, and their right to free speech should be allowed. Thank you very much.
Yep. As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office of defending against all threats, foreign and domestic.
Close the border, moron. Close the border.
Respect free and fair elections, restore trust in our institutions, and make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place. Again, it's not hyperbole to suggest
Yes, it is.
history is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child. The Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
Keep what waiting?
The Supreme Court did not shut down IVF in Alabama.
Why?
No, he did not.
Oh my God! So we got J6, we got Trump, we got abortion.
This is very typical of the Democrats. They just lie all the time about everything.
Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade.
And the rest of them just clap along like seals.
Be an incredible leader defending reproductive freedom.
Oh my God.
And look at fucking Johnson behind him.
My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted.
There's no chaos.
Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life and her ability to have children in the future
There it is.
were at risk.
Here you go. Yeah.
Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need.
Wrong.
Many of you in this chamber and my
To murder their unborn child.
reproductive freedom.
Yeah.
My God, what freedom else would you take
Sorry.
away? Look,
Freedom to speak.
the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are
You're
not
gonna
without
do this in front of them?
electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about.
Oh my God!
What did he
I-
say?
Damn.
Oh my God!
You can't do that.
That's worse than what Obama did in front of Sam Alito on the Citizens United
Yes.
decision. That
He
is
isn't
just
there, right? He not there, is he?
there. No, Thomas is not it. There's your destroyer of
Those
norms.
bragging
Yes.
about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women, but they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
That's all they did was they said you had to put it on the ballot and break it up by state because
What did he say? What is it? What's going on?
law.
You, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose. I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
It's a state issue now, Joe.
Oh my God. States'
I
rights.
pulled him up. I don't know if I can get him to do it again. He's on the bed now. Hold on.
I'm here
Click on the
tonight to
the
show
thing
that
on-
I believe the way forward, because I know how far we come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to
unclip the chat on the
hit
screen,
by the
Brian.
worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable.
Oh my God!
I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history.
Hey, Brian, take off the thing and the
It
chat
doesn't make news, but
What
news
thing?
in 1,000 cities and towns.
on the screen.
People are writing the greatest comeback story never told.
What are you talking about?
You're highlighting the chat on the screen.
Oh, no. I was asked to put in the closed captioning.
No. That's not
Oh.
Dave's thing.
Oh, okay. That. I'm sorry. I see what you mean. now.
Possibilities. Building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. Investing in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot. We leave no one behind. The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does.
What's he talking about?
What is he talking about?
Cancer?
He thinks we've cured cancer.
My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years.
Oh, God.
Record.
Crazy. Crazy.
Numbers.
Address inflation.
Numbers.
At 50
Terrible.
years old.
Terrible economy.
Record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope.
They count Uber drivers as new
Small
business.
growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans. 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are. We will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up. Inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world, and tending lower.
Yeah, tell that to everybody going to the grocery store.
The landing is and will be soft. And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs right here in America, where they belong.
Oh, my God, this guy.
And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
Donald Trump made it a point that
Creating good paying American jobs.
and he did say my predecessor, so cheers, folks.
Yeah.
And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree.
Really?
In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America.
Well, okay. There's the first cough of the night.
And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law, 46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in. I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
He's trying to bait the Republicans. I swear he is.
If any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
You remove that chat from Dave H because you're covering Brentley.
Affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investment in travel.
More importantly, you're covering up radar.
Because of my investment in the family farm. Because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know.
What?
They're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative. The great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopening, a new state-of-the-art battery factory is being built to power those cars there at the same.
The battery factory, not an auto factory. It's a battery factory. Or will be a battery factory. It's not there yet.
Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs in the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up.
Oh, that's a guy that.
Did he say Shawn Fain or Sinn Fein?
I don't know.
Isn't Sinn Fein an Irish
that's a UA guy that's a UA leader that they booed for
third generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
Jesus, what the fuck is that thing?
I say the little gender show we just saw.
When America gets knocked down, we get back up. We keep going. That's America.
That's methamphetamine, Joe.
Yeah, well, it's awful hard to get up when you got a boot on our neck.
It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is bright. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
This is the rant of an angry old man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Tonight,
no more years. No more years.
The future of possibilities that we can build together. A future where the days of trickle-down economics are over, and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor go way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
Jesus God, this guy.
With a law that I
Okay, Joe.
Not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit.
And Donald Trump was doing that before you ever came to office,
Yes,
big boy.
He did right to try. Also,
I cap the cost of insulin $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone.
And again, Trump had that taken care of before you ever showed up.
For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans.
Oh, the VA is horrible right now.
Not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion.
What a
We cut
freak.
Medicare will no longer.
Bernie's got a mask on.
Yeah, I know. Fucking God.
Like it's 2020.
Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market to treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade. They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Now I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone.
Oh, God.
Folks, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get an Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, well, even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place. Folks, the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal.
Any sense.
Yeah, let's roll out.
Destroyed healthcare.
Pure delusional nonsense.
Well, it is getting late at night.
100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. Well, my predecessor and many in this chamber want to take this prescription drug away by repealing Affordable Care Act.
Wrong.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Oh, there's the
We
creepy
stopped you
whisper.
50 times before, and we'll stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. They enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce healthcare costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent. To state the obvious, women are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job.
Hey, Joe, what's a woman?
Yeah, I'm sure that English teaching degree is going to help her out a whole lot on that subject.
Yeah.
Will pass my plan for $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America. I know the cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years.
$9,600 over 2 years. That's it.
And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents. We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass and build and renovate 2 million affordable homes and bring those rents down. To remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world.
Now I'm getting scared.
I suspect all of you want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year that children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is.
Get your kids into a government school sooner, fam.
No more government schools. Never.
I met a year and a half ago with the leaders of the Business Roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I said, well, they were.
We'll start transitioning your 3- and 4-year-old.
Why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice president, I met with over 182 of those folks. Don't hold me the exact number.
He's going off script.
And I asked them what they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right? So I looked at them and I say, I come from Delaware. DuPont used to be the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise.
He stuttered.
None of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world? And they all looked at me and said, I think you're right. I want to expand high quality tutoring and summer learning to see that every child learns to read by 3rd grade.
I didn't bring enough booze for this.
I know.
I'm also connecting local businesses and high schools so students get hands-on experience and a path to good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure the college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions.
Yeah, and Trump was funding historically black colleges with higher levels than anybody ever done before.
Yep.
When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help, after debt forgiveness, get his own daughter to college.
That man is so angry.
And folks, look.
What the fuck is that?
Such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business, start a family. While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise.
That's a state and local issue.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the feds.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I need more booze. I'll be back in a minute. I just can't with this guy right now.
By the way, the first couple of years, we cut the deficit. Let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results.
You know, that money wouldn't come without.
We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion.
Give public teachers a raise.
I signed the bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share.
Oh God! Again,
pay the fair share. Pay the fair share.
Look, I'm a capitalist. If you want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes.
over half the people don't even pay taxes. So they don't
It's how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the topping 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations.
Wrong.
It exploded the federal deficit.
Wrong.
They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks,
You
at home,
did.
does anybody really think the tax code is fair? Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break?
Yes.
I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
Oh, God.
And they haven't yet.
Yes, we have.
In fact, the child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half. Restore that child tax credit. No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
You idiot.
Remember in 2020, 55 of the biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero.
Oh, shut up.
Not anymore.
What an idiot.
Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%.
Oh, fuck you.
You idiot.
No. Income tax and corporate tax are two different things. Jesus
You
Christ.
can't mess with these things. He's an idiot.
Yeah. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million that can be deducted. They can pay them $20 million if they want, but deduct $1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America.
He's just saying things.
The average federal taxes for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
No. Oh, my God. Income tax and
Then they can pay a flat tax and eliminate all the deductions and loopholes.
Oh, my God.
Drop everything. You'll get the rich paying more, you idiot.
The minimum tax for billionaires at 25%, just 25%.
Just
You know what that would
25.
raise? That would
For
raise
what?
$100 billion over the next 10 years.
No, it won't.
Imagine what that could do for America.
That's a
imagine
drop
the
in the
future.
bucket.
With
Again,
affordable
he's just
childcare,
saying things.
millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member. Imagine the future of home care and elder care, and people living with disabilities, so they can stay in their homes and family caregivers can finally get the pay they deserve.
Oh, my God.
Tonight, let's all agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block.
There's such platitudes. It's
Anyone
ridiculous.
who tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age
Yeah.
will stop you.
Love her look.
Look out, Joe. Kamala has a gleam in her eye
The working
behind you.
people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal.
No.
Oh, no. You guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealth. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share.
Talking point.
Look,
It's the cliche talking point, too. And he won't.
too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think.
I'm curious if his family's Chinese and Ukrainian millions.
Size of the bag.
How they were claimed on taxes.
Same size bag. Put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it.
I really mean it. There you go.
What's it going to do? Jesus.
You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8. Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge what it costs them to instigate the collection. And that's more a hell of a lot like $8 and 30 some dollars. They don't like it. Credit card companies don't like it. But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating.
Junk fees is about things that are you get on your bill.
$40 billion in profit.
Sure you are, Joe.
Let's stop it there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front, so there are no surprises. It matters. It matters. And so does this. In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen.
Whoa!
Oh, you don't think so?
No. We know so, you bonehead.
You don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges, help tackle a load of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
That's faggots. Sorry.
Yeah, because it would just basically let everybody in.
$100 more high-tech drug detection machines to significantly increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
This bill would save lives and bring order to the border.
Crypto genocide, and it's intentional.
It is.
Authority
killing Americans on purpose.
Yep.
The number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying no. Look at the facts.
No, you cut the border. You cut the border wire.
Well, you know how to read.
Oh, the facts.
Oh, did you hear that?
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, a majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill.
No.
He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me.
Oh, it's
I'd be a winner. Not really.
That was Marjorie.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't have it, girl.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, People pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across.
He
the border.
really just tried to make it about him.
They get
He's
by.
like,
Yeah, he
I
did.
lost
They get
kids
by
too.
and let into the
What?
country. It's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing, and it's worth it.
Don't let him in then.
$8,000. But
Stay at remain in Mexico.
if it's only 6 months, 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks,
What? No, they're not going to be kicked out. You're going to let them in.
I would respectfully suggest
Fucking liar.
my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done.
No,
We
Fuck your bill.
wrong.
Shut it all down. Don't pass shit.
What a fucking
They haven't passed that budget bill yet, have they?
no.
And if my predecessor is watching,
The deadline tomorrow.
instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me, telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what he apparently here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country.
Yeah, they're poisoning the blood
They're
of the
not
country.
immigrants.
Not.
Yeah, they're poisoning the blood of Americans with fentanyl. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced the comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship.
Secure.
And so much more.
Open it up.
But unlike
Literally open the border.
Unlike my
Like,
predecessor.
literally had his agents cutting wire.
we're the only nation
Open the
in the world
border.
with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans, whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of every place, from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland. Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere.
Legally. We all come from somewhere legally.
We need them to vote for us because our party is terribly unpopular with the domestics.
Look, folks,
We need about 10 million underclass that are completely dependent on government handouts so that they'll keep voting for it.
The border was fixed before
I'm
you
ready
ever
to
got
fix it.
in.
send me the
jackass.
border bill now.
Wrong. God, what an idiot.
You broke it. You fixed it, bro.
A transformational moment in history.
Literally stopped
Happened
construction of the
58
wall.
59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for
Not
justice.
to mention whistleblowers Tara Lee Roadhouse and Eric Stevenson, who both pointed out that the government is facilitating the trafficking of children to known criminals.
Yes. Yes.
Left for
That's
dead.
Biden's Department of Health
Friend
and
and
Human
former colleague
Services.
John Lewis was on
That's
that march.
Biden's Department of Homeland Security under Mayorkas, who's impeached right now.
Joining us tonight.
Not to mention Joe Biden's probably a pedophile and child abuser himself,
However,
Yeah.
marching.
as evidenced by the meanderings of Ashley Biden and by his own words. You know, he's talked about children rubbing his leg down in the pool when he was, you know,
Singers and preachers.
Yeah.
She sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday.
yes, tap the black woman. Yes,
5 months
token
later,
black
The
woman.
Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, celebrate the black woman.
Oh God. Here we go
Celebrate.
again. More crap.
Diversity.
God,
Everyone must clap for the black lady. Clap, 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 clap.
Because I'm running 25.5 with
59
African
years
American.
later, we're
Oh,
forced to
excuse me.
take us
Exactly.
back in time. Voter suppression, election
Oh.
subversion, unlimited
Oh.
dark money, extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis is a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to
He's
honor
admitting what they're doing. He's admitting what they're doing with that.
him to do more
Watch
than
the accusations, they're tells.
Yeah, they're doing it.
the Vote Act,
Oh, shut up.
Lewis Voting Right Act.
No.
And stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books, it's wrong.
Oh yeah, go there, go there, dummy, go there.
What did I say?
Right.
What did I say?
Equality Act. And my message of transgender Americans, I have your back.
Joe Biden wants your children reading cartoon porn, ladies and gentlemen.
For workers' rights. Raise
Campaign speech.
the minimum wage. Because every worker has a right to a decent living more than $7 an hour. We're also making history by confronting the climate crisis, not denying it. I don't think any of you think there's no longer a climate crisis. At least
There isn't. There isn't. There's such a thing. It's a hoax.
I'm taking the most significant action ever on climate in the history of the world. I'm cutting our carbon emissions in half by 2030, creating tens of thousands of clean energy jobs, like the IBW work is building and installing 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations. Conserving
Cobalt
50% of America's
binding.
waters by 2030. And taking action on environmental justice, fence line communities smothered by the legacy of pollution. And pattern after the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps, I launched the Climate Corps to put 20,000 young people to work in the forefront of our clean energy future.
Yes, brainwash the youth and pay them.
Yeah, welcome.
Brainwash and pay the youth so that they work for us.
All Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office.
Oh, wow.
Rates went up 30%. 30% they went up.
Who shouted?
The biggest increase in history.
What is going on?
It was then,
Wow.
through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
What did he
We
shout?
made the largest investment in
I don't
public
know.
safety
I didn't hear
ever.
it.
Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. These building trusts have been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land. Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or having.
Hypocrite!
She
She did it. Kamala Harris, for the record, arrested more people in California for possessing marijuana than any other DA, right? Yeah.
He wrote when I was a
And
senator.
she joked about it.
We can finally end the scourge against women in America.
What are you talking about?
There are other kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in elementary school in Uvalde, Texas.
Oh, fuck.
Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple of days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message. So everyone in this room,
They let them die
would hear the same message.
in Uvalde. They didn't go in.
Constant refrain, and I was there for hours.
Uvalde
and
is-
hours with the family.
That's how they got in.
Yeah.
They said,
Now,
"Do
South Texas is a democratic cesspool.
something." Well, I did do something by establishing the
didn't.
first ever
It
office
was
of
an
gun violence prevention in the White House.
Yep.
FBI probably executed people. Blame the weirdo.
Meanwhile,
Standard SOP. The old lone gunman routine.
my predecessor told the NRA he's
And then
proud
they use it. They use it
president.
to advance gun control talking points.
Yes, exactly.
And they hope that with enough of them, they'll get a critical mass
When
where
asked,
people will demand some sort of end to the Second
They're
Amendment or
historical.
something.
Just get over it. I say, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Go ahead, angry old man. Just get angry.
I'm proud we beat the NRA when I signed the most significant gun safety law in nearly 30 years because of this Congress.
Stop it.
We now must beat the NRA again. I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
No.
There's no such thing as an assault weapon, Joe.
Universal background check.
They're all assault weapons.
None of this. None of this. I taught the Second Amendment for 12 years. None of this violates the Second Amendment.
No, you didn't.
Or vilifies responsible gun
All of
owners.
it does.
Hell, it doesn't.
The text is
We
quite
manage
clear.
crisis at home. We're also managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people, for the Israeli people, for the Palestinian people, and so many here in America. This crisis began on October 7th with a massacre by a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know. 1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. And 250 hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also we will also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world.
Oh, yeah?
Israel has a right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms.
Were either one of those two dudes working for the CIA?
Releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering those responsible for October 7th. But Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates among the civilian population like cowards under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
Dangerous walk down the center of the row here. Good luck, Joe. I don't think it's going to work.
Nope.
It's taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocents, women and children, girls and boys, also orphaned. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement.
He's right about that.
Destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin.
That's true.
Families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking.
Yep.
I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last
That's not true.
6 weeks to get all the prisoners released.
That is not true. That is absolutely not true.
And ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis.
Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State, Janet
enduring,
Yellen,
something more enduring.
like Tresh.
The United States have been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance.
Rashida Tlaib is not happy.
I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza.
What?
They can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters.
Getting involved in there?
No U.S. boots will be on the ground.
No, they'll just be out
Temporary
in the water.
pier will enable a
Yeah,
massive
exactly. What did he just say?
getting into Gaza every day.
Temporary pier? We're building a
He
pier in
wants the U.S.
Gaza?
Army a temporary pier built off the coast of Gaza,
Sounds like
What?
Vietnam to me. Oh my god.
built by us.
You can't take any of this seriously.
More aid into Gaza to ensure humanitarian workers aren't caught in the crossfire. They're
Sure,
announcing
whatever.
they're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. The leadership of the Israelites say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time.
The Palestinians don't want that.
Yeah, they don't want to stay.
And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel.
Well, they killed off the peaceful Palestinians.
No one has a stronger record.
PLO was in charge.
I challenge any of you here.
20 years ago, it was
the only American president to visit Israel in wartime. But there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. There's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means
it's not the problem. Lebanon is.
That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea.
Oh, you did that. Sure you did, Joe.
Create Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces.
Best CENTCOM's doing.
As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel.
He's going to drag us right in the middle of a Mideast war.
Ford, it's a very manly magenta lighting. It's not pink. Thank you.
For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise.
They're actually in trouble right now.
Yeah, they are in trouble, big trouble.
They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years, even when I wasn't president. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world.
No, we don't.
Since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit is down.
Until y'all fucked it up by shutting it down for nearly 3 years.
We're standing up for peace on straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific. India, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that.
Okay, but how much Chinese money have you taken in the last 20 years?
And we're in a strong position to win the conflict of the 21st century than anyone else, for that matter, than any time as well. Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. There's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh?
Oh, you son
Pass
of a bitch.
bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online.
Disgusting.
Harness.
Oh, my God.
Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril.
Oh, there you go. No.
Ban AI voice impersonations and more.
Ban.
Truly sacred obligation.
Good luck with that.
And equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home.
Man, you should just say anything.
That's why the song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us.
Thankfully, we don't have to look at Rhino Mitch Romney anymore.
Thing.
Yeah.
Like end cancer as we know it. And we will.
End cancer. We're going to end cancer with the magic mRNA cancer vaccines.
Let me close with this.
Oh, please
Oh
close.
my God, yes. Bring it home.
They clapped.
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things. I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
Oh, my God.
Things become clearer than ever. I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Now other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me.
Well, no, that's just
bullshit.
I was born mid-World War II.
That's just against all y'all corrupt
for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, among working class people who built this country. I watched in horror as two of my heroes, like many of you did, Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service.
Okay.
I left the law firm, became a public defender because my city was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard after Dr. King was assassinated because of the riots. And
the lying. God,
became a county councilman almost by accident. I got elected to the United States Senate and had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president of our first black president.
You know, it would be nice if we had an AI that could just like check his statements in real time.
The gleam in that woman's eye scares me to death.
Yep.
Man, Maxine Waters looks like her face is going to fall off too.
In my career,
doesn't she look like she's wearing a mask?
I've been told I'm too young.
What's with that?
By the way, they're going to let me on the Senate elevators for votes sometimes. Not a joke.
Oh, wait. That sounds like
I've been told I'm too old.
Yes, you are.
Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star.
Cash.
The very idea of America is that we're all created equal. It deserves to be treated equally throughout our lives. We've never fully lived up to that idea.
Oh, yeah.
But we've never walked away from it either.
What? Are you kidding me?
Now, I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are. It's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas. It'll only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine. I see a future where defending democracy, you don't diminish it. I see a future where we restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes.
I see a future where I get more money.
I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence. Above all, I see a future for all Americans. I see a country for all Americans. And I will always be president for all Americans because I believe in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now. So let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America. And there is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, there you go. Thank God. Oh.
As we slowly start to drop the volume on this, and I cannot drop this volume fast enough because, oh my God. If you are just joining us for the tail end of this, my name is Brian Trippett. I'm the Front Porch Conservative. I'm joined by my good buddies, Brent from the Dangerous Rhetoric podcast and Ruben Christopher Haynes. The speech probably ran about an hour 20, if I had to guess. Maybe just a touch over an hour, depending on what time he actually started.
You can see him sputtering though. He's like The drugs are wearing off.
Something's wearing off. I'll just give my initial impressions, and then we'll go around the horn. We're basically waiting at this point for the Republican response from Senator Katie Britt of Alabama. The things that I noticed, this is the speech of an angry old man. I don't care what anybody says. If this is what he's going to be for the next, 8 months, bring it on. Let's go. If this is your idea, trying to pass off anger as energy and try to convince people because you can shout more than anybody else that your way of leadership is better, you just go ahead and bring that for the next 10 months, big boy. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's take your record. Let's match it against your predecessor. You can't even say his name, you effing coward.
Exactly.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go. I mean, I've got a few other thoughts, but Brentley, I'll throw it to you first.
Oh, I mean, it just he was just saying stuff. Like a lot of it was numbers. He was just like spouting numbers and jargon, which was sort of intent. It was designed to kind of like distract the listener to not really like critically analyze what he's saying, because you're just supposed to be like, okay, whatever, numbers. But like none of it really made a lot of sense. Like he made a lot of wild claims, which I'm sure if we scrutinize them would be objectively questionable.
Hey, wait, hold on. Brent, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but who's the Boy Scout? Who let the Boy Scout in? Did you see that? Yeah, look at we got a Boy Scout
wearing a Ukrainian flag.
I guess either that or he's an agent. He's an old Boy Scout. I have no idea. Anyway,
Ukrainian
flag. I bet.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, it was just a bunch of nonsense. And it was just kind of ridiculous. And as you said, he didn't really even say like Trump's name, which I thought was kind of like telling. And when he got angry, it was just like, like demented old man vibes, like pathetic, sort of like he didn't stumble over his words that much. There was only like, one or two incidents that I really noticed where he kind of got it. But one of the big things that there were like 2 points where he really gave away the plot by making these accusations against the opposition, which were sort of like admissions of what they're actually doing. And if you paid attention, like I sort of went crazy the 2 times. I was like, when it happened, but like you can tell like the admissions or the accusations are always key. It's always a big tell, because psychopaths and other pathological deviants are not creative. So they have a terrible, terrible tendency to confess by projection.
Yeah. Yep. Before I throw it over to Ruben, I'm going to put this up here because, and this is very generous of you, Commander. RFK was shot in the back point blank several times when the shooter hit 5 different people with a revolver. Government operative. I want to address this, not so much the assassination of Robert Kennedy Sr., but the comment that he made about the assassination of Senator Kennedy being the point at which he decided to enter public service. Okay, well, if it was so damned important to you, how come you're not giving his son, RFK Jr., Secret Service protection when the man has personally asked for it twice?
Yes.
There are documented instances going back to last year of a guy, ironically enough, in California, in Los Angeles, who was making threats against RFK Jr. Police had to detain him. I mean, the brazen hypocrisy of this man is just staggering.
That's
absolutely staggering.
Common with psychopaths and other cluster B disorder type people.
Yeah,
they can do that. They can lie brazenly. They don't flicker. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't even register that they're lying, because they can sort of like declare reality by fiat, and their brains work in that way. They can fool lie detectors because they actually believe their own bullshit.
Yep.
And that's the power of the psychopath. They have that charisma where they believe their own bullshit, so it's infectious and they make you believe it too. which is why, like, and he blended a lot of like the truth in there with the facts. Like there was one part where I was like, true thing, and there's the twist, and then there's there's a lie, and it's a big whopper. So it's like he leads you in with these like, fact, and then like subtle deceptive twist where he like tries to mislead you. It's very like a NLP technique, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah. Ruben, your thoughts?
Well, the very first thing that was very, very odd was him basically saying we have to support Ukraine, saying that we have to go get NATO, and welcoming Finland in, and then he pivots, and then he goes after the Supreme Court. He went after the Supreme Court right there.
Absolutely,
it was disgraceful. And then he goes on about my predecessor did all this terrible things, and then again he's the reason why the border's a problem. He opened the border when he became president. He stopped Keystone Point line. He stopped all the expansion. That's why we had the problem we were having. And then the idea that he's going to put a port in Gaza. He's going to cause. He is not afraid of Israel, and I hate to say that. It's very, very. He's going to cause a lot of problems. That's why we have to stop this nonsense now. Trump did so many great things with Israel, but he moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and so no one think about that. Israel was created in 1948, and nobody had done anything. Everyone had promised to do this, and then Trump did it. Trump went to North Korea. Trump talked to Putin. He talked to people. He and again, you realize the people you're dealing with, and this man, it was incoherent gibberish, and all the stuff in the beginning was just a psychopathic. Saying all these things that and then again he had the gall to say that about the Riley, the poor girl that got killed, and trying to blame Trump for that too. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched quite a few State of the Union addresses before, but I don't think I have ever seen anything this unhinged. I mean, I kept jokingly telling people on Twitter, I was like, hey, if you're looking for a way to get your frustration out of your system, come yell at the computer screen with us. I didn't yell enough. I am not going to lie. I'm sitting here. I'd like to just let go an Indian war cry like I'm out for hair. I'm not kidding. This is how pissed off this ginormous
when he brought up
shit.
Yeah, brought up Lincoln Riley and tried to I don't know, blame Republicans for her death. It was just like, what?
Oh, I'm looking at Twitter right now. I'm looking at Twitter right now. The main talking points right now are Biden threatened the Supreme Court. That's number one.
Yeah.
COVID vaccine kills cancer is number two out there. And he said that.
Yeah.
What else is out there?
The COVID vaccine cures cancer. No, the technology. There's a mRNA based cancer vaccine that is being trialed right now.
Oh,
but as far as I know, there's no major developments on it, and it's very, if you recall, the mRNA technology for the COVID vaccine didn't work so fucking well. No. So I don't know if the one for the cancer is going to work well either, and it remains to be seen. He's acting like we've already cured cancer.
But there are other things out there. I'm not going to say it because I got banned for this, but look into what it does with acquired immune deficiency syndrome. The mRNA technology does something with that. I won't say anything more because I got banned on that, but I'm saying it.
You gotta be careful. We're on the Communist Party of YouTube's territory. They will will nuke poor Brian's channel.
Fellas, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to stop you from saying what you want to say. I mean, YouTube.
No, I don't want. I would hate to be responsible for getting her channel.
No, but the other thing too, the other person who won the night, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's my hero.
Yes, lady. Love that outfit.
Oh, speaking of outfits, did you see my future ex-wife, Lauren Boebert, in that blue dress? Oh, my God.
I don't think I did see her.
Lord. Oh, just my God.
What happened?
Yeah. Oh, she was sitting in the back with Gates and had this just gorgeous blue dress on and just, oh, my Lord. Sorry, folks. I just.
Brian's got a little hot flash.
A little
okay.
hot, little.
You get a little.
I mean,
warm over
just some other thoughts about the speech. I mean, as I said, it was angry. It was confrontational.
condescending.
He called Trump a
condescending.
liar.
Yeah, he called Trump a liar, insulted the Supreme Court to their face. I mean, talk about, I love it how Democrats are like, Trump, he'll destroy norms. He doesn't respect political tradition. You're literally standing there in front of the United States Supreme Court, telling them to their face they don't understand the power of the women, and you're almost backhandedly threatening them.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, regardless of what you think of Brett Kavanaugh as a justice, that man had assassins trying to find him and his family to do them physical harm. And you're standing there backhandedly threatening them in front of God, everyone on national television? Are you out of your mind, Joe Biden? Unbelievable, this man. Jesus, Lord God, deliver us from him. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, furthermore, there's nothing, and you guys, I mean, feel free to disagree with me on this. There's nothing new in this speech as far as policy ideas. Not really. It's warmed over Democrat talking points that, frankly, yeah, go ahead.
He missaid her name. She called her Lincoln Riley.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at what it was, because again, we were talking and all that stuff. He threatened us. Yeah, Biden threatened to repeal the Second Amendment too. Also, I'm looking at all people that are responding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he said a lot of crazy shit. I mean, it's just, but it's so typical of the Democrats to just like spew nonsense and, in unison, all stand up and clap along with it as if it's legitimate. And that's how they maintain the Overton window.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to put this up here. Brent, you were asking, what was that yelling up from the balcony? Someone was yelling 13 Marines, referring to the Afghan withdrawal.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw it today or not. There was a lady being interviewed on CNN who lost a family member in the Afghan withdrawal.
I saw it.
And the reporter from CNN, well, has President Biden reached out to you? And she said, no. We are haven't heard a word. And yes, we're covering the response. I'm basically waiting for them to come on. I've still got CNN pulled up, but I haven't seen the response. If it started, let me know. But I have not seen the response start yet.
Who's responding? What's the response consist of?
It's like a senator from Alabama, I believe.
Yeah, Katie Britt, the junior senator from Alabama. And I mean, if I see it, yeah, I am covering the response, but I'm just basically waiting for them to get started. I have not seen them respond yet. Let me see what I got here. Hang on. Let me check something else real quick. I'm over on Fox's website right now, or their YouTube page anyway. Do we have Katie Britt? No, not yet. But I'll go ahead.
Is that a dude or a lady?
Katie is a lady.
Yeah.
Not as lovely as my future ex-wife, of course, but I mean, she's not that. I just saying.
It's 2024. I gotta ask.
Well, yeah, you never know these days. I mean, and what's with the book burning thing, or the book banning thing?
Democrats want to make sure.
Do you really want to go there?
He basically says Lincoln Riley, and it said that Bo was murdered, but he says I feel that I'm the same way because my son also got killed, or he's equating the two together. No, totally different.
Yeah,
he tried to make it about himself, which is weird.
Yeah, it just unbelievable.
It's like, was your son killed by an illegal immigrant?
Yeah, and then he's engaging with the Republicans. God bless MTG. She's like, "Watch," and then he holds up some little button with Lake and Riley's picture on it. I mean, seriously? Oh my God. Commander says, "I'm a Marine. 13 dead, 2 arrested, 1 in U.S." Wow. just wow. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for the Republican response. I don't see. I'm on Fox right now. C-SPAN is still covering.
Oh, Tucker has a response.
Oh, I'll bet he does. 1.2 million views.
Oh, it's live right now. Yeah, he's live. Look, Tucker's live right now.
Okay, well, let me hop over to Twitter real fast. I mean, again, when I see Senator Katie Britt, I will definitely.
Star Wars, you've missed getting a hemorrhage from all the insanity that Biden
just unbelievable. Thank you, Commander, for that super chat. I genuinely appreciate it.
Yeah. What? Who was it? Was it Boebert that had the dress on?
Yeah, blue dress.
Hi, how you get that dress? That's how I'm that way now. I'm basically saying if I see someone who has it's sexy in a sexy dress, I'm gonna basically I send her a link. Hey, this is a nice dress. You should wear this. I want to see you in that dress.
Let me see.
Randy heterosexuals you.
I know we're awful, just awful. I say.
Yeah, I want to find out what that is. Let me look it up for you. Yeah, I talk to her all the time.
Yeah, we're still, or at least I'm still waiting. I have not seen Katie Britt's response yet. And like I say, just as soon as we do, I'll put it up there. But yeah, we're live stream covering. We have been live stream covering Joe Biden's State of the Union address, which hopefully is his last. God willing, come November, we will have something to say about that. But let me ask you guys while we're waiting, do you honestly think, and I mean this in all sincerity, does this speech tonight change the trajectory of this race in any way to Biden's benefit? And if so, how much? And also, how?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. No, go ahead.
I feel like he's not gonna win any hearts and minds with this. This is just a standard Democrat nonsense. It's going to appeal to their people, and the rest of us are going to be like, "You're crazy, old man. Go to bed."
Yeah. I mean,
that's why everybody's looking for the response. That's why everybody's looking for, comment on it, because nobody wants to just hear the mindless talking points applauded by the establishment.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I am. Okay, I guess. Okay, C-SPAN's not covering anymore, so they're out. And I am trying to find Katie Britt's response. Hang on. Let me flip over to.
Yeah, Boebert had a modest dress on.
Yeah, well, that means she doesn't look good, huh?
I'm trying to
modest or not, but no, I mean, seriously. Oh
my gosh, Toad is so funny. I put a link in the private chat to one of Toad's tweets.
Oh Lord, Toad. Yeah, if Toad is tweeting, this has got to be something.
He's funny.
Oh gosh, he is a. Oh, wait. Okay, I think here we go. Hang on.
Good evening, America. My name.
Nope, hang on. There we go.
Is Katie Britt, and I have the honor of serving the people of the great state of Alabama in the United States Senate. However, that's not the job that matters most. I am a proud wife and mom of 2 school-aged kids. My daughter Bennett and my son Ridgway are why I ran for the Senate. I'm worried about their future and the future of children in every corner of our nation. And that's why I invited you into our home tonight. Like so many families across America, my husband Wesley and I just watched President Biden's State of the Union address from our living room. And what we saw was the performance of a permanent politician who has actually been in office for longer than I've been alive.
Oh.
One thing was quite clear, though. President Biden just doesn't get it. He's out of touch. Under his administration, families are worse off, our communities are less safe, and our country is less secure.
She's reading off a teleprompter.
She understood what real families are facing around kitchen tables just like this one. You know, this is where our family has tough conversations. It's where we make hard decisions. It's where we share the good, the bad, and the ugly of our days. It's where we laugh together. And it's where we hold each other's hands and pray for God's guidance. And many nights, to be honest, it's where Wesley and I worry. I know we're not alone. And so tonight, the American family needs to have a tough conversation, because the truth is, we're all worried about the future of our nation. The country we know and love seems to be slipping away, and it feels like the next generation will have fewer opportunities and less freedoms than we did. I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams. My American dream allowed me, the daughter of two small business owners from rural Enterprise, Alabama, to be elected to the United States Senate at the age of 40. Growing up, sweeping the floor at my dad's hardware store and cleaning the bathroom at my mom's dance studio, I never could have imagined what my story would entail. To think about what the American dream can do across just one generation, in just one lifetime, it's truly breathtaking. But right now, the American dream has turned into a nightmare for so many families. The true, unvarnished state of our union begins and ends with this. Our families are hurting. Our country can do better. And you don't have to look any further than the crisis at our southern border to see it. President Biden inherited the most secure border of all time. But minutes after taking office, he suspended all deportations. He halted construction of the border wall.
All right, this is good.
And he announced a plan to give amnesty to millions. We know that President Biden didn't just create this border crisis. He invited it with 94 executive actions in his first 100 days.
There you go.
When I took office, I took a different approach. I traveled to the Del Rio sector of Texas. That's where I spoke to a woman who shared her story with me. She had been sex trafficked by the cartels starting at the age of 12.
Okay.
She told me not just that she was raped every day, but how many times a day she was raped. The cartels put her on a mattress in a shoebox of a room, and they sent men through that door over and over again for hours and hours on end. We wouldn't be okay with this happening in a third world country. This is the United States of America, and it is past time, in my opinion, that we start acting like it. President Biden's border policies are a disgrace. This crisis is despicable. And the truth is, it is almost entirely preventable. From fentanyl poisonings to horrific murders, there are empty chairs tonight at kitchen tables just like this one because of President Biden's senseless border policies. Just think about Lake and Riley. In my neighboring state of Georgia, this beautiful 22-year-old nursing student went out on a jog one morning, but she never got the opportunity to return home. She was brutally murdered by one of the millions of illegal border crossers President Biden chose to release into our homeland. Y'all, as a mom, I can't quit thinking about this. I mean, this could have been my daughter. This could have been yours. And tonight, President Biden finally said her name. But he refused to take responsibility for his own actions. Mr. President, enough is enough. Innocent Americans are dying, and you only have yourself to blame. Fulfill your oath of office. Reverse your policies. End this crisis and stop the suffering. Sadly, we know that President Biden's failures don't stop there. His reckless spending dug our economy into a hole and sent the cost of living through the roof. We have the worst inflation in 40 years and the highest credit card debt in our nation's history. Let that sink in. Hardworking families are struggling to make ends meet today. And with soaring mortgage rates and sky-high childcare costs, they're also struggling to how to plan for tomorrow. The American people are scraping by, while President Biden proudly proclaims that Bidenomics is working. Goodness, y'all, bless his heart, we know better. I'll never forget stopping at a gas station in Chilton County one evening.
Bless his
The
heart.
gentleman working the counter told me that after retiring, he had to pick up a job in his 70s so that he didn't have to choose between going hungry or going without his medication. He said, I did everything right. I did everything I was told to do. I worked hard. I saved. I was responsible. He's not alone. I hear similar concerns from fellow parents, whether I am walking with my friends or whether I'm at my kids' games. But let's be honest, it's been a minute since Joe Biden pumped gas, ran a carpool, or even pushed a grocery cart. Meanwhile, the rest of us see our dollar and we know it doesn't go as far. We see it every day. And despite what he tells you, our communities are not safer. For years, the left has coddled criminals and defunded the police, all while letting repeat offenders walk free. The result is tragic, but foreseeable. From our small towns to America's most iconic city streets, life is getting more and more dangerous.
She's making good points, but this is like way too feminine.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They're trying to get the women vote.
Families here in
This is the wrong way to do it.
Making
I know.
a line on the world stage. Look, where I'm from, your word is your bond. But for 3 years, the president has demonstrated that America's word doesn't mean what it used to. From abandoning our allies in his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan to desperately pushing another dangerous deal with Iran, President Biden has failed. We've become a nation in retreat. The enemies of
We decided that like it was going to be her that gives
an
like the
opportunity.
response.
Yeah,
Putin's
I agree with
brutal
Chat. She's going like
aggression in Europe
All-time Republic has the best line.
on the brink.
There's a
Iran's
lot.
proxies have slaughtered Israeli,
Oh, that's
Jews,
great.
and American citizens.
wire hangers.
They've targeted commercial shipping, and they've attacked our troops nearly 200 times since October, killing 3 U.S. soldiers and 2 Navy
It
SEALs.
is, Dave. They have to do everything has to be scripted.
Meanwhile, the Chinese Communist
Yeah.
Party is undercutting America's workers. China is buying up our farmland.
This
They
woman
should
scared
just give her like some talking points to hit and let her just do it her own way.
This
TikTok.
woman is scaring me to death.
You see,
SNL's gonna run with this on. They're gonna make fun
you
of her.
know they will,
if
and they
it
should.
conquers the minds of our next generation, it conquers America.
I
And
agree
what
with you, Robert.
does President Biden
completely.
He's giving me like creepy mom
He
vibes.
bans TikTok
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
government employees, but creates an account for his own.
better.
campaign. Y'all,
That's like women, in power in
Look,
2024.
we all recall when presidents
If you're going to get a woman to
faced
do this, why
national
not get
security threats
MTG?
with strength and resolve.
Like if you've ever been in a corporate or academic environment where there are high status
Right now,
women,
Our commander-in-chief is not in command.
Oof.
The free world deserves better than a dithering diminished.
Twitter's calling her a Karen.
America deserves.
They're calling
leadership.
somebody who is gonna
secure
well, this is left saying this.
Oh,
Safe
Someone who's
streets.
going to basically call the cops on the black people that down the street or a trans person in the bathroom.
Nation.
They're roasting her.
Ask yourself, are
Why
you
in
better
God's
off now
name did they not
than
let
you were 3
Trump do this?
years ago? There's no doubt we're at a crossroads, and it doesn't have to be this way.
They're calling her Stepford wife.
We all feel it. But here's the good news. We, the people, are still in the driver's seat.
Melodramatic.
We decide whether our future will grow brighter
I'm
or
going with
whether
21st
we'll
century
settle
Joan Crawford.
for an America in
I agree with
decline.
Robert.
Well,
Or not
I
Robert,
know which
small-town
choice
Repub-
our children
small-town Republic.
deserve. And I know the choice the Republican Party is fighting for. We are the party of hard
This is the
working
establishment response then.
families.
Ah.
And we want to give you
We gotta
and
go to the
your
establishment.
children
They're
the
just
opportunities to thrive. And we want families to grow. It's why we strongly support continued nationwide access to in vitro fertilization. We want to help
You're
loving
playing on
moms
their
and dads
battleground.
Yeah,
lady.
you are. You
just
are.
into this world.
Oh, jeez.
Boring.
No
Well, it's not just
greater
boring,
lesson
it's
in
just
life
awful.
than our children. And that's why tonight I want to make a direct appeal to the parents out there,
Dave's like, will it ever end?
my fellow moms, many of whom I know will be up
I love Gypsy's
tossing
comment.
and
She's going to
turning
beat her
at
husband
2
tonight.
a.m. wondering how
I
you're
can't with her emotional, like from left to right to.
She's bipolar in this speech.
This is like a lot. Like I've been just. I feel like my poor heart has been dragged all
hear
over.
you. And we
Oh, I love small town Republicans. She's Reese
with you.
Witherspoon from Election.
You're frustrated.
Exactly.
I know you're probably disgusted by most of what you see going on in Washington. And I'll be really honest with you. You're not wrong for feeling that way. Look, I get it. The task in front of us isn't an easy one, but I can promise you one thing. It is worth it. So I am asking you, for the sake of your kids and your grandkids, get into the arena. Every generation has been called to do hard things. American greatness rests in the fact that we always answer that call.
Oof.
It's who we are. Never forget, we are steeped in the blood of patriots who overthrew the most powerful empire in the world. We walk in the footsteps of pioneers who tamed the wild.
She's right.
We now carry forward the same flame of freedom as the liberators of an oppressed Europe.
She's right.
We continue to draw courage from those who bent the moral arc of the universe. And when we gaze upon the heavens, never forget that our DNA contains the same ingenuity that put man on the moon.
She's right.
America has been tested before, and every every single time, we've emerged unbowed and unbroken. Our history has been written with the
How long has
grit
she been
of
speaking?
men and women
Oh, too long.
got
A long time.
But we know their stories because they did not stay down. We are here because
Dave
they
said she's the new Nikki
stood
Haley.
back
Oh,
up.
Yeah.
So now it's our turn.
Wrap
Our
it
moment to
up.
stand up and prove
Please,
ourselves
honey, you're not doing
worthy
yourself
of
any favors
protecting
here.
the American dream. Together, we can reawaken the heroic spirit of a great nation.
Okay,
Because
great.
America, we don't just have a
Shoulder
rendezvous
shrug.
with destiny. We take destiny's hand and we lead it. Our future starts around kitchen tables just like this, with moms and dads.
She looks like she's gonna eat me.
God, she's
And
she's
you
frightening.
are why I believe with every fiber of my being that despite the current state of our union, our best days are still ahead. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless these United States of
God
America.
bless everyone. Thank you and good night.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Katie
and good
Brent,
night.
the
Please.
youngest-
Oh my God, no.
God, shut up.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
So then Dementia Joe and acting demented.
And
And
21st century
Mommy
Joan
Dearest.
Crawford. Yeah, Mommy Dearest. Thank you, Brent. That's best. I mean, I tell you what, I've been watching the chat. I'm going to do my best to, some of these comments are just gold. Yeah, I think she is going to beat her husband tonight. Truly, I really do. Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Some of these, yeah, even the Bless Her Heart was scripted.
Yes.
This was awful.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless.
Tucker Carlson.
Oh my God. Now the professor's here. He wasn't able to join us this evening, but I've got to put some of his comments up here. Let me find him real fast. Hang on. Because I tell you what, as always, he is spot on, and I'm trying to find his comments real quick here.
Following up.
Come on. Here we go. Absolutely. Yeah. No fruit, no water, nothing of substance, just emotionalism. And yeah, Christian, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Republicans just blew it. I'm sorry. They just blew it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Biden's speech was horrible on so many levels. Okay. And granted, you don't, in the response to the State of the Union, you have one of the worst jobs in the world. You're following up the President of the United States. But even then, you ought to be able to, with some level of competence, refute what he's saying. Her points weren't bad. It's the delivery that was atrocious. I mean, look, if you're going to put a woman, and I know I'm going to be accused of sounding sexist, but I don't care. If you're going to ask a woman to do the response to the State of the Union address, and you're going to have Joe Biden give the kind of speech that he did, angry, confrontational, then if you're going to pick a woman to do this, okay, you got to do, in my mind, you got to do two things simultaneously. Number one, you've got to bring substance and facts and refute the president, not necessarily on every micro point, but on the larger tone of the speech, the larger issues. Okay, that's number one. But number two, you better be ready to match the emotion and bring the fight. And I'm sorry, that was like, summer stock theater 101 performance. I don't know what you call that crap.
Well, she did match the emotion of like insanity in a way.
It was an emotional roller coaster. I was just I felt dragged everywhere. It was like sad and angry, and
or Marjorie and somebody, anybody but her.
Fearful.
Yeah, I mean, the first part of the speech I thought was a little shaky, and I thought, yeah, okay, you're 40 years old, you're giving your very first response to the State of the Union address. Okay, I get it. I
feel like
get
I've
it.
never seen her before.
She just won in 2022. So
Okay.
I mean, per the rules of the Senate, she's practically a backbencher. Okay, so I get that.
So who made
But
the decision to put her up to
that's a
respond to Biden?
great question, because I tell you what, they ought to be flogged.
Right?
That's one of the dumbest things they ever did. I mean, no offense to Senator Brent, okay? I'm sure she's a very nice lady. Again, I'm a little frightened if I'm her husband.
Fucking talk instead of feeding her canned fucking speech through a teleprompter. That was ridiculous. Like, just let her talk. Like, let the woman fucking put it in her own words. Like, it's not that hard.
Let the Bama out of Bama, okay?
Yeah.
She's an Alabama girl. Let her act like an Alabama girl, okay?
She's a fucking senator and a mom of two. She can't fucking talk for 15 minutes about the, like, I could have straight it up some little, like, if I knew I was going to respond, I could have just, like, made a couple of bullet points and just, sput them back out in front of a camera. Like, that's like literally what we do.
I mean, the whole, and we can do better. We can have a better country. It's
so creepy.
God.
Yeah.
All of it was just weird. It was just weird and creepy, and it felt inauthentic, and it felt forced, and it was just not attractive.
I mean, I don't know.
Even though she's pretty cute. I mean, she's cute.
Oh yeah. Well, again, she's not Lauren, but I mean, Boebert.
40-year-old mom of two. She looked great.
Yeah, she looks fantastic. But I mean, it just boggles my. Who in the hell made this decision? I mean, look, I can kind of, if Trump did genuinely decline to do this, okay, if he declined to do it, I kind of get the why.
Because literally anybody else, like Michael Malice, Charlie Kirk, fucking
let Matt Gaetz do it.
So big, Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is a talk show.
What's his name? Tim Burchett out of Tennessee. Andy Ogles out of 10. I can think of any number of people who could have done this and done. No offense to Senator Brent.
Dave, it's fine. Nobody's going to remember this come November.
Yeah,
it was not a big loss there.
Yeah, well, let the professor do it. Let the professor do it. He could have
literally any one of us could have done a better job than Katie Britt.
Bless her. Genuinely bless her heart. Bless her. And I've seen Tim Scott do a response to the State of the Union before. If I remember correctly, he covered one of Obama's, or it might have been one of Biden's first ones. I forget who, but I know he's done the response before and did very well with it. Let Vivek Ramaswamy do it. I mean, this response to the State of the Union, I'm sorry.
Margie Kidder Green is talking right now.
Where? Where can I find her?
RSBN.
All right, hang on.
She's responding.
MTG.
They should have gotten her to respond.
No kidding.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Here, let me copy the link.
No. I got it.
She's been talking for 7 minutes already, so
let's see what Madge has to say.
If you want to go back, you can do that.
Come on, Madge. Come on, girl. Where you at? Where are you at?
Here, I'll put in the prayer.
Here it is. I think it just. Yeah, hang on.
Because they were doing something special. Oh, you saw the outfit, Haya? Okay, never mind.
Hang on.
As I'm saying, anytime I see a pretty lady wearing a dress, I want you to wear that dress.
Here we go.
And I said, say her name, Laken Riley. And I offered him the pen, and he actually took the pen and he said, I will say her name, but he didn't say it. He didn't say Laken Riley. And he looks absolutely like he does not care. He looks like he could care less about Laken Riley. But he knows it's an issue for him.
Yeah. Well, it took about almost 50 minutes to talk about to even mention the border or immigration crisis. And it really took him a lot of time just to talk about what was hurting America right now. If you remember the top of the State of the Union, he talked about Ukraine. He came out of the gate talking about Ukraine and the fact that we need to fight Putin. And he's going to stand. It's never going to happen. He's never going to stop. He's not going to send your sons and daughters to war, which we've heard him say. We've heard Zelensky actually say that as well. So this, I think, to put the first issue you talk about is Ukraine, just shows you where their mind is right now. It's because it's a conveyor belt of money, our money, your money, going to Ukraine. He is missing the mark with America right now.
Oh, he's missing it big. It's not a popular issue with Americans. As a matter of fact, it's become a 70% issue that Americans do not want to fund the war in Ukraine. So of course, but this is a Washington D.C. war, and the establishment wants the money. Brian, I also thought it was interesting. He kept talking about taxes. And I yelled out to him, one of the times he was talking about taxes, I yelled out, Hunter needs to pay his taxes. Because don't forget, Hunter Biden is actually in big trouble with the Department of Justice right now for not paying his taxes.
What did people say to you when you say stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm going to step out.
You had a Democrat sitting right next to you. You told me she was kind of
okay. Hang
the
on.
whole time.
Actually, she agreed. She said he does need to pay his taxes.
Okay, well.
So she.
Okay. I just. Yeah, I want to get to this. I don't know if the GOP blew it on purpose to hurt Trump, but to me, the choice of Katie Britt to give a response to this speech just reflects establishment Washington Republicans' way of thinking about things. They don't understand how, number one, they've never understood how to message for years, and second of all, they don't understand the base of their party. I mean, no offense to Senator Britt. I mean, like I said, I'm sure she's a very nice lady under different circumstances, but choosing her to do this was just a horrible decision.
Yeah, all of
a number of people, and it would have been so much better.
Yeah, all they did was look at the raw numbers, and basically they said they need a woman to speak because they want to get suburban women to start voting for them again. And they did this. They gave her the lines to speak that speak upon the talking points that their analysts said to do, and it came off inauthentic. It came out very, very shrill, and it didn't work. And it's going to be mocked, unfortunately mocked. It basically what the Republicans actually did tonight. They made it. They took the focus off of Biden's screw ups, and now this will only be about her face, the way she looked, the way she do it. And then I shit you not, SNL, all comedians are going to talk about.
They will.
They're not going to talk about Biden. It's all going to be about her.
Yep. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in the long run, does this really hurt the Republicans going to November? No. But once again, they blew a golden opportunity. Here you have an 81-year-old man, and I'm sorry, yes, I will bring up his age. You have an 81-year-old angry Walter of a president. He looks just like, Jeff Dunham's ventriloquist dummy, Walter. Walter standing up there in the well of the House, going on like, get off my lawn, you crazy kids, for like a good hour, ranting incoherence after incoherence, lie after lie, blaming other people for his failures. This is probably one of the worst State of the Union addresses I have ever seen.
Yeah.
He's threatening Supreme Court justices. He's just I don't ever want to hear Joe Biden ever again say Donald Trump is destroying the norms of the president. I don't want to hear the press say it. I don't want to hear anybody say it. After this speech tonight, there's no higher moral superiority from him or anybody in his party. They have surrendered it after tonight. This is ridiculous. But the Republicans, with their uncanny ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, put a woman in there. And again, ladies, no offense to you, I'm not saying a woman couldn't do a good job, but they put a woman in there that frankly gave a canned establishment Republican styled speech at a time you need to be MAGA. You need to be America first in that speech and just lay it on the line. Like I said, you don't have to refute every single solitary point, But you could have so many things in that speech. You could have just shot holes right through it, and they blew it. They blew it.
I want to know who made the decision that it was going to be her.
That's a great question. I will try and find out.
Who would that be? That would be the chair of the RNC, right? Or
was it Mike Johnson? Was it McConnell? Who was it?
Or Mike Johnson? Or Mitch McConnell?
Yeah.
Those are the three leaders of the Republicans, ostensibly.
Yeah.
Trump did respond to what Katie said. He was congenial to her. I said I said it. I did in the private.
Okay.
He actually was saying she was authentic. Again, he was being,
he's being
Her.
charitable.
Yeah, very charitable to her.
Extraordinarily charitable.
But you saw this. Yeah, that's what Trump said.
Yeah. Back that down a little bit. Yeah, Katie Britt was a great contrast to an angry, and I don't agree with that. With all due respect to the president, I do not agree with that at all. Very disturbed. She was compassionate and caring, especially concerning women and women's issues. All right, I might give him that one. Her conversation on migrant crime. Now, that was probably the best part of her speech.
It was her best part. It was her best.
It really was. I'll agree with that. But yeah, I mean,
but again, how'd you say it?
It was inauthentic.
Yes, it was too long. It was too inauthentic, and she did her best. I'll say that much. She did her best. Again,
also, why are they putting like this brand new person into this role? Like, it's just
if anybody else said what she said, it would come off good. If a professional speaker with gravitas had said what he said, it would have come off more authentic. But she wasn't authentic. It was scripted. So yeah.
Well, because they had her reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it was obvious. I mean, no offense to her, but I mean, this is one of those moments you just got to turn it loose, and it's got to come from the gut. I'm not saying
from the heart.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it has to come across as unhinged or lacking of eloquence, but I mean, just sitting there reading a canned speech is just now. Next Pharaoh in chat is saying this may have been Mike Johnson's call, and Johnson's been a disappointment ever since he got a hold of the job from McCarthy. And if he did do this, big time he blew it. Really, he did.
Right.
And again, no offense to her, and no offense to the fact that she's a woman. My criticisms of her are not based on the fact that she's a female. It's just
you don't have to caveat it, Brian.
Well, I'm trying to keep it diplomatic. But yeah, I mean, it's just let MTG give this response. Let Stefanik out of New York, or Kristi Noem, or anybody else.
Literally anyone who has experience talking to a camera.
Or the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, who's a female. I mean, I would have no problem with that either.
It's why is this the first time I'm seeing Katie Britt?
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
makes sense to me.
In the long term, I really don't think this is going to hurt. But it's just a blown opportunity. It really was. But and the thing is, and I agree with Ruben. I agree with Ruben on this, and you too, Brent. They're going to cover up the fact that Biden gave one of the most unhinged speeches in the history of a presidential address, the State of the Union, and it's all going to be about her response.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Gypsy's backing up Next Pharaoh's information. Yeah, it looks like it was Mike Johnson's call, and man, oh boy. Anyway. It's about 11:30 Eastern on the East Coast. My name is Brian Tripp, and I'm the Front Porch Conservative. I'm joined by Ruben Christopher Haynes and Brent Lee from the Dangerous Rhetoric podcast. I'll tell you what, for everybody's sake, because we've kept you all here a good while tonight, let's wrap it up. Gentlemen, any closing thoughts? Brent, I'll start with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I just think it's kind of ridiculous, like whatever. Joe Biden went on, said a bunch of garbage. Katie Britt had some good points, but her delivery was just canned. And I just think it's like kind of a net zero. Most people aren't going to watch this. Like normal people don't watch the State of the Union thing. They don't give a crap. Like it's only for political junkies. And we'll have to see. Will Joe Biden make it to the convention in three months ish?
Yeah,
we'll have to see. It's been a wild 2 months and a week so far in 2024. I can't wait to see what new shenanigans occur in the next couple of weeks. And we'll be back to discuss it all, I'm sure, either here or over on, our channel on Sunday night where we do the current event roundup. Come hang out Sunday night, 7 p.m.
I was going to say, I mean, we'll give our closing thoughts and our commercials. So, sir, where can everybody find you in this wonderful Sunday night roundtable of which you speak?
It's on Rumble and X.
Okay.
We'll have to see if I get unbanned on X because I don't know if I can stream on my other channels. But it'll be on Rumble for sure and on the Dangerous Rhetoric channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube boys are invited, of course. Okay.
Ruben, your closing thoughts, and where can everybody find you on social media?
No, thank you for this. It was very nice to see this. And again, I haven't seen any of his speeches, and I saw this one. You saw tonight what we're dealing with from both sides of the establishment.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have an unhinged Democratic Party who's going to go after Trump and say anything to put the fear of you, and the Republican establishment who just puts a fear in you with just incoherent messaging. Mm-hmm. It was akin to the idea. If you read the text of it, it'd be good, but the delivery just bombed.
Yeah,
it was horrifying. So that's what I'm saying. So this is basically you seeing the establishment at work, and this is why Trump needs to take the reins, talk to Mike Johnson now that he's solidified the nomination, as Haley's dropped out, and the messaging has to be from MAGA, from R.G. Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, Trump himself, Vivek. My God, if it was Vivek had been out there,
put him out there.
It's time to do it now, and it's time for him to. Trump's got to. I think Trump has to announce his VP now. Do it now. This is it. So State of the Union's done. It's game on now. You've locked up the nomination. You have a few months to get through. You have to get rid of what happened tonight and do that. That's my opinion. But anyway, thank you very much. Oh, and find me all over YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, X, at Ruben Haynes, all over.
Yeah, I want to get some quick comments in here from some last minute things. This is from up in Connecticut. Apparently, the man up in the balcony in the gallery who was yelling was a Gold Star father and was arrested.
What's a Gold Star father?
Someone who lost a family member in service of the country overseas. Yeah.
From Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of the 13.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, they were all kids. Like when I remember I read all their names and I went through their backstories, and they were all like, there was like one guy who was in his early 30s, and the rest of them were between the ages of like 18 and 22. It's like crazy.
Yeah. And I want a couple of real quick super chats. Going for the newbie. I don't know. Who could say? Who can say? And Dave H, thank you very much, all of you guys, for everybody who's given super chats tonight. You guys are awesome. Couple other last comments. As always, Brentley, you are a trendsetter and a rebel. I mean, you are living on the edge.
I am living on the edge. I'm living on an island, so it really is the edge.
Yeah, and like I said, you are the trendsetter, man. Now you got people wanting ice cream, dude. So
dude, this ice cream is amazing. This is the So Delicious brand. This is like gluten freezies and dairy freezies. I can actually eat it because I can't have dairy. But these are like really good. I love them.
Okay. And here's my ice cream. Just kidding.
And that was
No,
not a paid endorsement. That was actually my genuine 100% original opinion.
Want to see
Well,
how
there
to
you go.
my lovely wife.
Obviously, you didn't go to the Katie Britt School of speech patterning. Anyway,
No, but if they wanted to pay me to endorse their products, I would. I'd take that money, and I'd be honest about it too.
Yeah, guys, there's no I mean, for all of you, big time, companies out there looking for spokespeople, there's no shame in our game.
See?
I'm seriously.
I do a great job as long as I can actually endorse the product. It's
there. You go.
If I like it, I'll tell you about it.
All right.
No.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, again, we have to make America great again. We have a lot to live for. 2024 is a very important time in our lives. We have to stand up. We have to make America great again. It's not about Trump. It's about each individual doing it. Very, very important. And again, I have to again, don't forgive me, darling. I have to basically show you. That's her. That's her.
Oh, she's so pretty.
She is.
Yeah.
You are a very lucky man.
And this is what I'm fighting for. My life. This is what's very important. To save America now, and again, it's about me, each of us doing something out there, getting it done, making it happen. We have to do it every single day. And again, this is why we live in America, because we're here now, commenting on what we just saw, and that's what we do. We live in a free country. We can talk about it, and we're just expressing our opinions on what we need to do. So it's very, very important.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for being here. For my part, I will be a guest tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Indian Jesus's channel. He is taking a major risk inviting me on. I think he's trying to get his channel just destroyed by inviting me on, but who knows? He's willing to take the risk. So, and as Sean Connery said in The Untouchables, the Lord hates a coward. So I've got to go do it. I'll be back Saturday morning with Front Porch Brunch. We'll be talking about the State of the Union and a whole bunch of other things happened this week. Folks, thank you so very much for being here. We'll be back with new videos, probably starting Monday for sure. Been a little off my schedule as far as that's concerned. We'll try and get back on track. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. You guys are awesome. Have a great night, and we'll see you later.